Fwamba Nakitare is my name. I'm a partner MC at Sisimsha Entertainment, and Sisimsha Entertainment is your professional wedding MC company. And we focus on making your experience a fantastic, fun one on your wedding. Now, on today's note, we have a client who's asked us, who speaks at my wedding? And we get this a lot, and I can understand why we would want to know something of this nature. So weddings generally have a lot of people who want to speak. If given a chance, I believe everybody would want to say a thing or two to the couple on their special day. But there are a couple of things I would want to point out before I even get into who we would recommend speaking at your wedding, because it varies culturally. The one thing I'd like to point out about the wedding and the speeches part of the wedding particularly is that you'll notice that weddings have highs and they have lows. The speeches are a low at a wedding, but it depends with whose lens you're looking at. From the perspective of the couple and the parents, speeches are as important as the dancing session for the couple, right? But for the guests, speeches are usually designated for just the couple, not the rest of the guests. So you'll find more often than not at weddings, the MC and some of the patrons were there trying to request the guests to keep quiet or speak in hushed tones so that we could hear what the parents or the designated speakers are saying. Now, please don't get alarmed. Don't get annoyed. It's just that when it comes to the speeches, they're directed to the couple, not necessarily to the guests. That said, who speaks at a wedding, right? So you could have your parents. There is no set template on who can speak at a wedding. We've seen weddings where the little sister is the one who's speaking to the couple, or you've seen a wedding where only the grandparents are the ones speaking, or the parents are the only ones who are speaking. But generally, what we've seen as a standard for most weddings is you have at least two representatives from each side of the family speaking. And how the two representatives are broken down is, one, you'd have the groom's father speaking, or the groom's father's representative speaking on behalf of the father. Then you have the groom's mother's representative speaking on behalf of the groom's mother. And then you close it off with the parents, if the parents want to speak or say a word or two. Then you cross over to the bride side. You have the bride's father's representative and the bride's mother's representative and the bride's parents. Now, you'll find in instances where the parents do not want to speak or parents want to speak. Either way, it's fine. We can accommodate. We can also accommodate as many people as you'd want to speak at your wedding, because at the end of the day, it is your wedding, it is what you want, and we're there to actualize that. Nonetheless, we could recommend, maximum of 4 or 5 at worst case scenario, speaking at your wedding. But if you want us to accommodate more people, we'll figure it out. Yeah, we're professional MCs, so we're skilled in the art of convincing your guests not to speak for too long or beyond that which they've been requested to speak for. So let's take, for example, we've slotted in 5 minutes for each speaker, and a particular speaker, perhaps has a word or two extra that they want to say. No need to worry. We have devised a way, or we've come up with a plan on how to convince them to stick within the 5 minutes, that obviously in a respectful way, to stick within the 5 minutes that we had allocated them. As I said, nonetheless, there is no template for how many people should speak at your wedding. Heck, if you want your primary school teacher to speak, so be it. We will accommodate them in the program. That's my answer. Who speaks at a wedding? It could be anyone. As long as it's controlled, we will figure out a way of ensuring that the message comes across, and it's done within the specified time.